Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Smash the like button if you love me. Subscribe if you're new. Please have your say. A very warm welcome to Saturday's edition of the DC Universe Daily. On today's show, David Zaslav, he really said this. David Zaslav says James Gunn is on a mission from God to save DC. I think, David, you need a fucking intervention. Oh, and also David Zaslav stood on a stage on an earnings call, which confirmed that HBO Max is bleeding money, even though he's saying it's not and everything's in the garden's rosy. But basically hours before, he said he stood by the writers and thinks they should be paid fairly. Now we're finding out that anyone on Matt Reeves' The Batman franchise universe, producers, writers, showrunners, whatever, won't get paid if they go on strike. The hypocrisy isn't lost on me. But first of all, I want to talk about something that's non-DC Universe related, and I hope you don't mind, and I hope you're going to bear with me, because writer-director, brilliant writer-director Edgar Wright has sent an F-bomb to my DM. And I will read it to you because I think it's important that these things don't stay private when you're abused with someone with a platform. A great writer-director whose material I've always enjoyed. So they're all virtue signalling, right? All these people with platforms, all these famous people, about this Writers Guild of America's writer's strike. So he did the same. He wrote 10 bland things people say in the entertainment industry, right? So I go, you're forgetting one. Oh, we split because of creative differences, but we're all very good friends. We still have a great relationship. I woke up this morning to find this in my Twitter DMs. With the greatest of respect, fuck off. But he did leave me a kiss at the end. He left me an X. Isn't that lovely? Edgar Wright, writer-director Edgar Wright, sent me an F-bomb to my DM. Now, he obviously was very, very triggered by me. This is what happens. I will never stop rubbing these people's rhubarb because they are creatively bankrupt, because they're only in this industry because of the blood running down their veins, not because of their talent, even though he's very talented, right? Creatively, I have no issue with Edgar Wright. The point is, Edgar, you should be standing up and exposing Hollywood and basically standing up for the next generation of writers, directors, and talking about the state of Hollywood, not just about writers wanting to get more money, creatively bankrupt, extremist writers who attack my gender, right? Who attack my demographic in their writing. Like that Legends of Tomorrow episode, don't worry, we're going to Themyscira, it's okay, there's no men there. This is what we've been dealing with since 2016, right? The extremism, the creative bankruptcy. Why did I quote tweet Edgar Wright with that? Because that's basically what he said when he split with Marvel when he was going to write and direct Ant-Man. We've split because of creative differences, but we've still got a good relationship, or whatever he said at the time. So this is why he told me to fuck off. So did what I say deserve that? Absolutely not. But unless you're stroking these people's fragile egos, their fragile egos break and they can't help themselves. Did he think he was going to send me an abusive DM and I wasn't going to expose it? I'm never going to stop everyone. These people destroyed something that I believe in, something that I love, something that I grew up watching, an industry I dreamt of being a part of. I dreamt of standing up at the Oscars, as we all did, making the speech, thanking my friends, thanking my family. When I used to watch the Oscars, we all used to have the fantasy, never gonna happen, right? But we dreamt. That's what Hollywood was. keeping the dream alive, fantasy, escapism, great biopics, great education, not propaganda. This man should be standing with us, the fans, right? A working class writer-director. Just listen to the body of work that he's made. Spaced, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I love that. The World's End, Baby Driver, The Sparks Brothers, Last Night in Soho. This is a very talented writer-director, but it's the hypocrisy I don't like. It's the hypocrisy I can't help but quote tweet on Twitter. And if you're not following me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, you are missing out, everyone. Because this is what I do all day. Because I'm fighting for the integrity of a once beautiful industry. And I'm never ever going to stop. And if it upsets elites with platforms like Edgar Wright, I don't care. On this writer's strike, none of you deserve more fucking money. You deserve your cards. You are extremists, political extremists who hate straight white males. You are creatively bankrupt and you have destroyed a once great industry. So I will continue to expose these people's hypocrisy. And if they don't like it, tough. If I break their fragile little egos, tough. Because at the end of the day, this stuff has to be exposed. There was no need to come into my DMs and send me an F-bomb, Edgar. It was over the top. Either you ignore me like everybody else does, or you challenge me. You say, what are you talking about? And I would have explained to you why I said that. You thought you were being clever on Twitter, virtue signaling for the writer's strike. So you put 10 bland points that are said by the entertainment industry. Good ones, but you missed out the biggest. I gave it to you because of your relationship with Marvel and how it broke down. You know they made your life a living hell. Instead of exposing Marvel Studios and Disney and Kevin Feige for the hack that he is, you decided to stay in the lava and keep on making more money so you didn't expose them. This is what you all do. So you are as biggest hypocrite as the rest of them at the end of the day. I've seen you review film, blah, 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 blah. You're all in it together. You don't deserve more money. The writers don't deserve more money. And how dare you come into my DMs and swear at me? Did I swear at you when I quote tweeted you? Did I swear at you? Did I threaten you? No. And of course, he made sure I couldn't respond to the F-bomb in his DM. Because these people are so fragile, they like to get the last word. Well, Edgar, my friend, nobody gets the last word on Big Mickey Boy. So I won, you lost, no matter how rich you are, no matter how famous you are, and let's be honest, I could do a better job in making movies than any of you in this industry. You don't even deserve to be in your fucking positions. You know, you've attacked your customers. Again, one of your customers, you've come in to his DMs, my DMs, and told me to F off. This is New Hollywood. Can you imagine Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, George Lucas, if they were on Twitter, right, and I don't think that they are, but if they were on Twitter, can you imagine them coming into my DMs and telling me to F off, sending me an F-bomb? No, because they're classy. They understand that this is a consumer-based industry. But these people, not only are they hacks and extremists, they have very, very fragile egos. You didn't get the last word, Edgar. You will never get the last word on me because I am part of the civil war fighting for the soul of this industry. Oh, I'm glad we got that unpleasantness out of the way. Now let's talk about the DC universe. Yes, yesterday in an earnings call, David Zaslav said that James Gunn is on a mission from God, or maybe he said Jesus, to save DC and to be aggressive with the property. Yes, James Gunn, according to David Zaslav, is on a mission from God to save DC. Yeah, this is where we are in this fucking industry. Is that right, James Gunn? Maybe you can respond to that via my Twitter or come on this channel. By the way, any of you people involved in this industry have every right to reply. Come on my channel, send me a DM without sending me an F-bomb, and we'll have a discussion. Because I'm a creative, artistic person. I love making art. I love writing. I love directing. I love acting. I love it. But what I don't love is what you've all done to this once beautiful industry that was created by Charlie Chaplin and Harold Lloyd and Buster Keaton, and really was doing quite well until around 2010, 2013, till he decided to be triggered by one Donald Trump and destroy this industry and attack my demographic. But that's what David Zaslav has said. He really believes that James Gunn is the real deal. A mission from God, my man said. He's on a mission from God to save DC. Comment. Let me know what you think about this. Isn't this fucking insane? How low have we gone? How low have we sunk? Is he so bereft of any kind of corporate skills that he's standing there saying that James Gunn is on a mission from God to save DC? And it looks like, as usual, I'm the only one calling it out, because nobody else wants to talk about the real issues in this industry, because this is a DC daily show, but DC is part of the entertainment industry. DC has been damaged by this fucking studio from one leadership to the other, and I'm angry about that. I'm angry. They decided to bring on Christopher Nolan. He and his writer, David Goyer, had a pitch for an alien invasion Superman movie, Man of Steel. They brought on Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder had an arc. They never let the man finish his arc. They recycled the man's work, and it ended up like shit. All they had to do was allow the man to finish his arc, whether you like it or not. He would have had a Flashpoint scenario, and then new creatives could have come in, maybe James Gunn, maybe Joss Whedon, anyone, and done their own thing. But we're in a mess because of the decision-making of idiots like David Zaslav, the man who wants to reboot Harry fucking Potter. How is that a good idea? How is taking Potter away from cinemas and on HBO Max a smart business move? Basically, movies that can make $2 billion a throw. You really trust Zaslav with DC? You believe in David Zaslav and his decision making? Oh, Henry Cavill's back. Oh no, Henry Cavill's not back. Do you trust him? He was in charge when all that fucking happened. He's the CEO of Warner Brothers. Is it right? Is it right? Is it right to bring back Henry Cavill and sack him a few months later? Is that how you want your favourite actors to be treated? Fuck the writers. Fuck the writers. What about the actors? Right? Henry Cavill is a gentleman. He's never attacked his fan base. He's done his work. He's been professional. He's a great fucking Superman. He was 40 years old yesterday. Many happy returns. Henry, you have been absolutely fantastic, and I know you would never send me an F-bomb to my Twitter DMs. But is that how you think people should be treated? You're back, no you're not, fuck off. Is that right? Not involved in a Flash movie that treads in his own fucking movie? Do you think that's right? Do you understand why I'm angry? Do you understand why the Snyderverse stands are attacking James Gunn? Do you understand? Or are you still going to defend it? The industry is ours. It's not theirs. It's ours. It belongs to us. We pay for it. We pay for the DVDs, the Blu-rays, the 4Ks, the T-shirts. It fucking belongs to us. And they've ripped it from us. Do you understand the level of disrespect releasing Justice League in fucking cinemas and thinking they're going to pull the wool over our eyes? DC is a beautiful thing. Detective Comics, everyone, that was launched Action Comics #1. These things matter. And they're making CBMs now with their extremism. They held Snyder out to dry. How dare he be different? How dare he be unique? How dare he try and tell a story? And then we've got the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery telling us that the current co-CEO of DC Studios is on a mission from God. It doesn't belong to them, everyone. It's our industry. We pay for it. If our money's not there, if our consumption's not there, there is no industry. And they're treating us like CUNTs, basically. They're treating you like idiots. And how long are you going to stand for this? We call them out, they abuse us, like Mr. Edgar Wright did, with the F-bomb in my DM, because I dared to expose him for his hypocrisy. This is the most Hippocratic industry in the world. It is. But what they've done to DC isn't a joke. It's become a bad joke. How can I ever forget what they did with Justice League? And now they're doing the same thing with the Flash movie, right? You're probably going to enjoy it. You're probably going to think it's great. But the betrayal that happened behind the scenes, where they replaced Superman with Supergirl, and I'm going to have to hear as a Superman fan, oh, Sasha Calle's so great, who needs Superman? That's, as a Superman fan, that wounds me. As a Henry Cavill fan, a fan of Henry Cavill's Superman, that wounds me. And I've got to listen to a CEO saying that the current co-CEO of DC Studios has been sent by God. It's a joke. Right, let's move on now. Our next headline is that at this investor call, David Zaslav stood up there and defended the writers' strike and said they deserved to be paid fairly. Now, as I was going up on my Twitter feed today, this morning, because it's morning as I record this video, obviously it won't be morning by the time you see it. It basically, a report says, I don't know how true it is by the way, take it with a pinch of salt, it was on Twitter, but apparently the writers, producers and directors and showrunners of the Matt Reeves Batverse, if they go on strike, will not get paid. Now, the same threat has been made to people by showrunners at Disney, because showrunners are now not, joining, when things are being shot, they're not on location, right? To basically inform what's going on. That's their role. Showrunners are writers. So there's a Writers Guild of America strike. So they can't be there. But this strike is a serious situation because it's actually a civil war. The writers are not going to back down, and the industry at large isn't going to back down. This is Volcano Day, everyone, for this industry. But the fact that, you can't refuse to pay people on strike, that's part of a democratic system. They're the rules. In a democratic society, people can strike. But now we're seeing how dirty and ugly this industry is. And it's something I've been trying to educate you about on my platforms for a very long time. As a child, I fucking loved these people. Even as a 20-year-old man, a 30-year-old man, even a 40-year-old man, maybe even a 45-year-old man, I looked up to the studios, the producers, the directors. Now I fucking despise them. I despise them all for the way they treat us, the way they insult our fucking intelligence. Entertainment is run by a community who are only interested in their legacies of success and how much money they make. This is how this community of people define themselves. And if you're not successful, you're down on the fucking dirt. So they see us as a bunch of peasants and tramps. And if we dare speak out about what they've done to Star Wars, which is fucking disgusting. Disgusting, everyone, what they've done to Star Wars. The Rings of Power. Disgusting. It's all disgusting. But what they've done to my beloved DC, to our beloved DC, is disgusting. And now you can see how they're treating the writers. As I say, I don't believe these hacks deserve any more money. I think they should all be fired and replaced by talented people from communities from outside the Hollywood echo chamber. Never gonna happen. We're dreaming, right? You're gonna have a certain blood type running down your fucking veins to work in this industry. Basically, it's a stacked deck, and we know that. But yeah, this morning on this show, as I'm recording it this morning, obviously I think it's evening when you're watching it, I am very frustrated and disappointed because we've got to save this industry. We've got to. I believe in make-believe. I believe it can be great again. And I won't stop until I die. It's as simple as that. And I don't care if I upset famous actors, producers, writers, directors. I couldn't give a shit. There's one thing you've got to understand about me. It doesn't matter how few people know who I am. I know where the fucking bodies are buried in this industry. You can tell from what I tell you, right? You understand that I understand the industry, right? That I know how these people operate because I'm exposing them all day on Twitter. And I will continue to expose them no matter how many F-bombs, right, I get from famous people with platforms. It really doesn't matter to me because unlike them, I don't have a fragile ego. One of the reasons this industry is sunk so low, everyone, is because of this generational audience and consumer. How often do I go on social media and I see people arguing about who the best Batman is? Who's a valid Batman, who's an invalid Batman, who's the best Superman? My beloved Christopher Reeve and Dick Donner, put down by Snyderverse stands sometimes to uplift Henry Cavill's Superman. There isn't a best Superman. They're all fucking great. Chris was awesome. Brandon Routh was awesome. Henry Cavill was awesome. Dean Cain was awesome for his fans. He wasn't my cup of tea, but he's a valid fucking Superman. Same with James Bond. Batman. They're arguing about what the best Batman is. There's no best Batman. There's no best Doctor Who. There's no best James Bond. They're all fucking valid. We all have our favourites and our least favourites, and that's okay. But there isn't a universal best Batman or Superman. It depends on who you are. It's subjective, everyone. You can't put down Dick Donner and Christopher Reeve, men that made a film in 1978 without any computer-generated images. That was beautiful what those guys made. What that production crew made. As was Man of Steel. I adore both movies. Both movies are valid. You see me say every day. But there's people putting down one film to uplift the other. And, for me, it's not right. And this is the environment we find ourselves in today. And I feel that there's not a best this and a best that. Now, to me, not universally, not factually, that I believe Smallville is the best comic book television show ever made via what it gave to me personally and the consistency of a show. People throw Daredevil in my face and I say, well, Smallville went for 10 seasons and it had consistency. And what? Daredevil had 4 seasons, 3 seasons, and after season 1, they weren't consistent. But it's just my opinion. It ain't fact. It ain't a universal fact. It's the way I feel. And we've got to change the way we talk with each other as fans. We can have opinions that are our opinions, but they aren't the opinion. And I think all the arguments I see on Twitter, one of the things that annoys me on Twitter as well when I hear, oh, Henry Cavill is the best Superman. No. Henry Cavill is the best Superman in your opinion. Man of Steel is the greatest Superman movie. No. It's the greatest Superman movie in your opinion. I genuinely don't know what the better Superman movie is out of Superman the movie and Man of Steel. They've both got their, they're both very, very different films, but I believe they both represent the character beautifully well. And some people believe that Man of Steel is like this, this biblical spurge on the character. But I don't believe that. You know, I love both movies, and I always will. But there's this tug of war that no one can ever win. So there isn't a best Batman. There isn't a best Batman film. To you there is. To us personally, there is. And I get that. But universally, there's not a best or a worst. Some people's favourite Batman movie may be Batman and Robin starring George Clooney. As ridiculous as that sounds to everyone, and that's valid for them. It's not down to you or me to tell people what to love. That's the thing. Now, sometimes we respond badly to what people love or hate on social media. I've done it before, I'll be honest, and that's wrong. But we're only human. We're reactive. And then, you know, there's no question about that. And I understand reactive behaviour on social media. After all, I had an F-bomb from a writer-director, you know, because I made a valid point to them. A valid point they didn't like. I was rubbing his rhubarb. I've been rubbing his rhubarb for a long time, but there's a reason. Because I'm angry about the state of this industry and the hypocrisy. But I think as fans, we shouldn't be arguing about what's best, what's worse. I see it all the time. And really, it's futile. There's just no point to it. Love what you love. Stay in your lane. Focus on what you like. I'm proud of Man of Steel. I'm proud of Superman the movie. I'm proud of Smallville. I'm proud of Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice and the Snyder Cut. It's my belief that no one will ever be able to make a better Justice League movie than Zack's 4-hour movie. And another little headline for you, Zack Snyder has been asked about artificial intelligence in entertainment, and he says artificial intelligence can't replace the artist. Quite right too. Snyder nails it yet again. We need directors, we need writers, we need actors, we need flesh and blood people, but we've got to fight the industry on this. What I saw in Rogue One was a very dangerous thing. When I see them basically mock up a CG Leia or a CG Tarkin using other actors. And then we saw that in The Mandalorian with Luke Skywalker. This is a very, very dangerous thing, because in the end it means they can get away with doing anything. And as fans, as consumers, we've got to back great writers and great artists, right? What the problem is with the industry right now, they're so politically extremist and don't care about entertainment and entertaining you. To the writers, actors, producers, directors, and everyone in the industry right now, we should be the most important entity. No matter how you feel about me personally or about the fans personally, your job is to please us, excite us, entertain us. No, you don't have to give us what we ask for. You know, I've said it before, I didn't ask for A Few Good Men, but I fucking loved it when I saw it. That's the point. This is what this industry needs to get back to. Because at the end of the day, there is a cost of living crisis. You know, one of the problems with this writer strike is that the industry isn't making the profits it once did. And this is why they're not getting paid the money they feel they deserve. I think we need new writers who would deserve the money they're fighting for, but these hacks certainly don't. There's no money in the industry, there's no profit margins anymore, or profit margins have shrunk because they've driven you and me away from the industry. And that's the fact. That's why I'm rubbing their rhubarb every day on Twitter, because they deserve it. They have betrayed a beautiful industry. They have betrayed their forefathers and their foremothers and the people who pioneered silent movies and silent comedies and brought us to where we are today. It's a betrayal. This industry is on its knees. And right now, the comic book genre, something we talk about on this channel once daily, is on its knees as well. Because empires are destroyed from within. Warner Brothers had a decision to make when they wanted to formulate a DC extended universe. They could brought in someone who attracts the mainstream audience. Christopher Nolan and his writer had an idea, they brought them in, then they brought in Snyder. When you do that, Snyder has to finish what he started. Then we start again, like they do in the comics, as I've said plenty of times. And they've been digging themselves a hole ever since. This has been Saturday's edition of the DC Universe Daily with me, Mick, your host with the most, just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please smash the like button if you love me, subscribe if you're new, please have your say, smash the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection, and I will see you again in the next video, whether Edgar Wright likes it or not. Until I see you again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.